was vegan for a very long time, and I've had to introduce fish and omegas into my life because
Okay, welcome to the video. Let's check out Miley Cyrus is no longer a vegan. Let's get serious, let's get fun, let's listen.
Was vegan for a very long time, and I've had to introduce fish and omegas into my life because my brain wasn't functioning properly. I had a head injury when I was, 2 years old. My dad had me, this is really bad, but he can't go to jail, I don't think, because it's long enough. He had me in a baby backpack, and I was on a dirt bike with my dad. And he was riding, and a tree had fallen, and he ducked, and I didn't, and I hit my head on the tree.
Oh, Jesus
It was bad.
Christ.
So that's what's wrong. Everyone's asked me that for years.
Okay, I'm about to lose it now. Having a little bit of a bad trip. Really? Is that a fucking Liam lookalike, or what the hell is that?
I'm loving this.
What did you do? I don't know, I want to know that. I'm in the bed, Uncle Smith, say hello to Mary Joseph. And my dear, you're so about them. Say hello to Anna Nicholson. Oh, Mary Joseph. I don't want to oh, more of that shit, I swear.
Yeah, you need to do more. You're not like as up as you should.
Okay, so this is the deal here. Now, I've got to give empathy here, and we've got to put ourselves in Miley's shoes. I mean, Miley is a superstar, and it's a big loss for the vegan community that she's come out and saying, I needed fish for my brain health. Obviously, anyone educated understands that's just a bit of a fallacy, but we've got to have empathy for Miley. One, I've heard her sing live, and she's a ripper singer. She knows how to sing, all right? So this lady, I'll give credit where credit's due, and I'll critique where critiquing's due. One, I think she's a fantastic singer. Two, she's been raised Billy Ray Cyrus, like destined for wealth, fame, and attention, etc. So we've got a girl here who's never ever been out of the limelight, so anything she does, it has to be sort of controversial. So going vegan was controversial, having animals in a place was controversial, going ex-vegan was controversial. It's a tension, subconscious or consciously, whether she knows it or not, she's driven by various factors. So right now there's a trend for ex-vegans, and I totally agree with it, man. Most people go vegan, they're going to suffer. The average vegan diet now is, you go to these vegan YouTubers, Vegan Gains or Mick the Vegan or Dr. Greg, who's not even a real doctor, whatever. But, these people out there who might have good intentions, and I might have personal issues with some of their behaviors, etc., but just their nutrition plan. Let's just talk about nutrition. Let's not make it personal. Let's keep that away. That's just my ego. The nutrition plan, it's anti-sugar. It's don't eat too much, calories in, calories out. Don't eat white rice, don't eat white flour, don't eat pasta. Fruit's okay, but not smoothies. Don't eat too much fruit. Eat lots of broccoli, a little bit of brown rice. Have more brown rice. Weigh yourself 3 times a day. That's Dr. Greger. 4 cups of coffee a day is healthy. Blah, 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 blah. And so someone like Miley Cyrus, who's young and on social media, and she's like, okay, so what do I do? Okay, this vegan YouTuber's got 200k subs or 50k subs or 1 million subs or 1 zillion subs. I'll listen to them. I can't eat sugar. Okay, no sugar. I can't eat white rice. Okay, no white rice. I can eat brown rice, but not too much brown rice. I've got to do 90 minutes of vigorous activity a day. That's what Dr. Greg said. Okay. And, before you know it, and 4 cups of coffee, okay, I'll do that. Before you know it, you're feeling terrible. First day, you feel great because your cortisol's zinging and you're on all the stims, like the caffeine, and you're feeling lighter because you've got less food in your stomach. So you're like, I feel like a goddess. I'm going to... But then your cortisol and your adrenal cortex is just getting cooked. And then over time, your hair starts falling out as a woman. Not as a male pattern or whatever, just as a young woman having hair falling out isn't natural. If you're a guy, yes, it's sort of normal for men gorillas, silverbacks to lose their fur. But for women, it's not normal. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying it's generally related to thyroid or adrenal or estrogen issues from insufficient carbohydrates, too much stims, you can't sleep properly, etc. Okay, so we've got to have that context. It's very, very hard to stay vegan in 2020 because there's so much carb phobia. It's easy to get vegan products. You go to Wendy's, you go to McDonald's, you go to KFC. You got vegan products there. It's easy to get vegan food, but to stay vegan and feel good is very, very tough because there's so much carb phobia, right? Even guys like Dr. McDougall, they flip-flop all the time. I mean, McDougall's probably the least contradictory, but even he says sugar doesn't make you fat, but I don't eat too much sugar. A little bit's alright. But sugar doesn't make you fat, but don't do too much. So it's like, what does the average person do? What hope does the average person have? They come across my channel, and they're like, okay, durianrider, he makes sense. Oh, durianrider's this, durianrider's that. Oh, and all this slander out there. Guys like vegan gains and stuff. But anyway, so it's unfortunate. So if you're a noob out there and you don't know where to go, it's like when you jump on an airport to Thailand, at the airport in Thailand, you go, where do I go? And let's say I'm a taxi driver. I'm like, hey, come, you want to go to the islands? Come with me. I'll show you the islands. I'll show you the mountains. We'll get fit, man. We'll have the best durian in the world. We'll have amazing vegan food. I'll give you the best Sprite you've ever had, And this person's like, oh, this sounds awesome. Then tells them, no, don't go durianrider. He doesn't know anything. He's this, he's that, he's that. And the person's like, okay. And then they jump in someone else's cab and go to some shitty place with mosquitoes and fucking drunks and all this. And then they're like, I don't like Thailand. This sucks. And then they do a video, I don't like Thailand. It wasn't a good holiday. And it's like, because you weren't with me, baby. You know what I mean? When people come to Thailand with me, they get addicted to Thailand. Even if they hate my guts, they get addicted to Thailand. All right? So it's just about your experience. So if you lose your vegan virginity, taking the advice of people who have no fitness, or they're lying to you, they're doing steroids, but they're lying about doing steroids, and they're like, they're swolgers and guys like John Venus, etc., and you follow their diet, you're like, why am I getting jacked? It's because you're not taking steroids like they are, So that's just the transparency. Anyway, let's get to the video. Digressing, let's listen to Miley. I just want to give a bit of a context there. Context is powerful. It's easy just to hate on Miley, but we've got to have context, all right? Listen.
Was vegan for a very long time, and I've had to introduce fish and omegas into my life because my brain wasn't functioning properly. I had a head injury when I was, 2 years old. My dad had me.
Brain injury is serious. I got one in January when I got that stalker attacked me from behind and slammed me into the ground, and my head's still not right. I'm still seeing a specialist for that. So brain injury is real.
This is really bad, but he can't go to jail, I don't think, because it's long enough. He had me in a baby backpack, and I was on a dirt bike with my dad. And he was riding, and a tree had fallen, and he ducked, and I didn't, and I hit my head on the tree.
Oh, Jesus
It was bad.
Christ.
So that's what's wrong. Everyone's asked me that for
The thing is, as well, is with traumatic brain injury, acquired brain injury, especially someone like Miley, if you got all these people around you who are trying to be your buddy because you're pretty, you're young, you're female, and you got mad fame, and you got insane money. You got all these people who want to be your friend. Hey, Miley, you've got this. We'll help you with that. So you got all these people who are going to finesse you and bullshit you. So all of a sudden, and you got these Americans, these Californians who have just got the silver tongue, and you're just like, wow, like yeah, okay, I'll believe you. And so she just becomes this identity that I've got an issue, and this is how it is. And yeah, there's truth to that as well. But if you wake up every morning and you say, I can't do this because this happened to me when I was a kid, that becomes your fulfilling prophecy, self-fulfilling prophecy. That becomes your identity. If you ignore it, then you get like, there's people out there who have, they've lost a leg or an arm, and they're riding bicycles, And there might be people out there saying, you can't ride a bike, you've lost your limbs, And there's people that say, no, dude, like, ride your bike, whatever. And just look at these people that riding bikes. And they've got YouTubers out there with no legs riding bikes, hand bikes, etc. Just getting it done. So if your identity is, I've got a acquired brain injury, I can't function, then you'll blame everything on that. Even if that may be a factor, or is a factor, what's the biggest factor is your identity and your self-talk. If you believe it to be true, then it becomes true. To an extent. Let's listen more.
And I have to take all the things, omega. Was vegan for a very long time, and I've had to introduce fish and omegas into my life because
when you cook a fish, the omegas, because they're long chain fatty acids and they're very heat sensitive. So when you cook it, so eating fish for omega-3 is like putting money in a blender to make more money. Well, if I blend all these $1,000, $100 bills, then I'll get more segments of $1,000 bills. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. It sounds good by theory, but it's not real world. You can explain it to a kid. Hey, kid, put your money in a blender, blend it up, and then you'll have more money because you'll have like thousands of $100 bill notes. Yeah. The kid's like, okay, let's do that. And you go to pay for it at the shop. And they're like, what's this? What's this slop?
My brain wasn't functioning properly.
And don't tell that to the vegans. They'll come for you.
And the vegans have come for it.
gonna come for me, but that's okay. I'm used to people coming for me, and it's gonna.
And she is. She's a hard girl. As much as she is a softie, you can see that she's definitely got a skin on her and a shell that she's man, celebrity status. I couldn't imagine what it's like. And I'm a YouTuber. I get stopped every day on the street, every day. Imagine being Miley Cyrus. You have no privacy. I mean, I've got zero privacy. I've got two dedicated stalkers on the internet. Imagine how many Miley Cyrus would have. It would be hectic, man. Hectic. It would be surreal. And she's done pretty well for it.
And tell that to the vegans. They'll come for you.
They're gonna come for me, but that's okay. I'm used to people coming for me, and it's gonna be that I come out.
Celery.
Come out.
Celery.
Come out.
Celery.
So there you go. This is Joe Rogan's eat more celery. That's the reality, man. That's the reality. You gotta eat more celery. More celery. How many calories in celery? But I don't need more calories. Trouble is what? So you need carbohydrates, man. Celery is good, but celery is a condiment. So there's people out there who just, she needed more celery. She needed more celery. She needed more carbs, more sugar, and get off the drugs. Ketamine, cocaine, weed. These things every day, and she's still a young thing. These things aren't good for the brain. The only drug I would say that'd be okay for the brain would probably be CBD, CBD. Everything else, I don't rate, man. I do not rate at all. CBD. So if you're doing weed and all these things that are not good, especially the weed these days, it's like THC, and it's just, I do not rate it. CBD, yeah, I don't rate it. Anyway, let's have a look at here. This is omega-3 fatty acids on cognitive performance and meta-analysis. It doesn't really mean too much because it could be biased. We got it from VG. Thanks for the edit there. What does it even mean? Let's have a listen here. It doesn't mean that much. It's like one study. I go with real world. If you think taking one of these things is going to be better for you, it might give you a marginal gain, psychological placebo, then take it. It's just algae. But people out there saying that they need algae, they need to eat fish.
Strange choice.
You get it from here. You get it from here. So if you really want your omega-3s, you can get them from plants. Your body makes your EPA, DHA, etc.
Again, it went from, it was school, then it went from, how much weed can I actually smoke and still play a teenage superstar on the Disney Channel? And then,
so, that is semi-funny, but it's also very serious. So Joe Rogan's just laughing like, hey, just Joe Rogan doesn't care. He doesn't give a, Joe Rogan is just another steroid dude. Give credit where credit's due. He does admit to being on steroids every week. So there's credit there. He's not a fake natty. But he's just, he's in a celebrity. He got lucky with USC. He's just putting out this BS advice. I don't eat carbs. I don't do liposuction. Yes, you do. Rogan, you've done liposuction earlier in the year. And, which is fine. It's fair enough. A lot of people do it. I don't need to. Don't eat much fat. And so then, so he's laughing about it. She's done heaps of weed. So she's made herself, drug rocked, And that's sad, man. I used to do a lot of drugs as a kid. Yeah. I mean, a lot of drugs. Context there. But I would hang around a lot of people who I'd say were full-on weed addicts, and using meth and ice and stuff like that. And some of them turned out alright, and some of them didn't turn out as good as they wanted to. And I'd say that when you're doing drugs as a young person, it's not good for your brain health. If you stop, then your brain can heal, largely. I do truly believe in that. But if you keep going and the worst thing is your self-doubt. Like, oh, I've done this, and, blaming, that's the word, that's a real prison to be in, emotional prison to be in. It's going, I did a lot of drugs when I was a kid, it's damaged me. If you believe that placebo effect or nocebo effect can be so real, and then you become a victim of your past, What's happened in the past has happened in the past. If you keep living through that, then your life sucks, no matter who you are. Whether you're Miley Cyrus or Joe Rogan or me or whatever, with fame and money, none of that stuff means anything if you're not happy inside because you're thinking negative of yourself. Let's have a listen more.
and then
What's the answer to that question?
More than you would think. I remember one time and I don't smoke anymore, and I'm sober.
Well, that's good, but I can tell that she's on something in this video. She's on some prescription med. In my opinion, prescription meds can often be way worse than street meds.
Calm out.
Salary.
You know, at one point, again, it went from, it was school, then it went from, you know, how much weed can I actually smoke and still play a teenage superstar on the Disney Channel? and then like,
What's the answer to that question?
more than you would think. I remember one time when
Miley's done so much drugs, it's affected her voice. You know, it affected her voice. It's amazing she can sing so well. Yeah, she's definitely a talent.
and I don't smoke anymore, and I'm sober.
How long you been sober
but
for?
I've been sober since pretty much the vocal surgery kind of did it for me, because I just learned so much about the effects, which again you're just not taught. It's not really the drinking; it's staying up all night. You know, once you have your drink, you end up smoking. Alcohol was never my problem. There was other things that I end up, you know, I like to go up, so I now just avoid really drinking because I like to wake up at 110%. It's not really the drinking, it's staying up all night.
Drinking from not enough carbohydrates, staying up all night, can't sleep. My serotonin and dopamine's out because I'm not getting enough carbs. All right, so this is a girl who's concerned about her weight, as 99.999% of girls her age are, as women are. And so, yeah, she'll get involved in low-carb diets and maybe go vegan, do a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of yoga, a bit of Bikram, a bit of blah, cycling, whatever, to lose the weight. And then she cuts the carbs, cuts the sugar, don't eat sugar, sugar's bad, so they have the discipline, no sugar, and then nighttime comes, it's like, I can't sleep, I need a wine, I need some to wind down, I'm just jittery, freaking out. And then you have a late night, you're alcoholic, then you wake up next day feeling crap, and then you get on the coffee, and then you just repeat the cycle. Can't have sugar though, sugar's bad. All you need to do, add the sugar in as much as you want, 1 kilo, 2 kilos, 3 kilos a day if you can handle it. If you need it, no one needs 3 kilos a day. But if you do, you did. And, you know, and then all of a sudden the alcoholism just fades away. All of a sudden you go to bed earlier because at night time your cortisol starts to chill and your serotonin kicks in, your dopamine chills, and you're just like, I need to go to sleep. And you're sleeping without still knocks, without sleeping pills. Low-carb diets and alcohol go hand in hand. Low-carb diets and coffee and caffeine and modafinil, Ritalin and Adderall and dextroamphetamine, all these things, green tea, go hand in hand. Low-carb diets and sleeping pills go hand in hand. So as soon as you add the carbohydrates in, unlimited carbs, white rice, white sugar, fruit, quinoa, oats, whatever carb you like. Don't ever restrict any carb, because I read on Dr. Greta's website it was bad for me. All plant carbs are essential for you every day, right? And rice, sugar, fruit, they're the most important things. White rice. And have those things. And just do it for a week, all right? Don't believe me. Don't believe anyone. Just do it, all right? Just do it. And let your body tell you what's going on. All right? And you become a psycho like me, who doesn't need stims to get wired up. Because I just have the rest. Now I've been laying down all morning on my phone, just chilling in bed behind me. I feel like Superman right now. All right? Get the rest, people. It's like a cat. My cats, these feral cats in my garden, they sleep all day. But then they're ready to spring. They're ready to spring in a millisecond and go full gas. Because they're always getting rest. They sleep all day. And you clap your hands or you throw a little toy next to them, they just pounce. Cat pounce. Let's listen to Maury.
You know, once you have your drink, you end up smoking. Alcohol was never my problem. There was other things that I end up, you know, I like to go up. So
Who did exactly? Stims. When the Adderall doesn't work, get on the cocaine. Up, 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 up. Carbs are the key. Alright, so Miley is here. She has a breakdown during a wrecking ball. I don't call them breakdowns. I call them, you know, drug psychoses where you hadn't had enough carbs.
If I give home, I have 22 animals on my farm in Nashville. I've got 22 in my house in Calabasas. Like, I'm doing what I need to do for the animals. Okay?
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
But when it comes to my brain, you're not vegan.
No.
You can't be vegan and living this kind of and being this quick. But sure you can. Some people can. I can
What? You can't be vegan and... What did she just say?
not, because it was really giving... I was
What
having
did
a
it
lot
do for
of...
your brain?
I feel that
You
I'm
make sense.
much...
Did you make
down.
sense of what she
Now
said
I'm
then?
so much sharper than I was, and I think that I was at one point pretty malnutrition. Like, I remember going to Glastonbury, and that was a show that I loved. I loved my performance, but I was running on empty.
Boom! Boom! Right there. I was doing Nick the Vegan's diet. I was following Vegan Games, Groats diet, and celery juice diet. Like, you know what I mean? This is what pains me. This is why I go on and on and on about the dangers of these orthorexic vegan diets, you know? Just eat raw food. Eat lots of raw food, but not just raw food. Have your sugars, have your white rice, get your carbs in, or you're going to be running on empty. Or Harley, I'm obese, I need to lose weight. How are you going to function as an adult human if you're starved in the brain? I'm not starving, Harley. Look at me, I'm obese. How am I starving? You're starving, man. Like, you've got a mobile phone, a big mobile phone. It's got a lot to do with all stuff. It's got camera, it's got apps and all this stuff. So if you don't charge it up because you're trying to shrink the phone, that's not how it works. Use the phone, cut the fat out of your diet, and all of a sudden, the body releases the fat. You're eating the fat every year, your 10, 20, 30 kilos of fat to preserve your 10, 20, 30 kilos of fat. You're eating that fat every year. I know it. I've got cameras in your house. I know it. So that's what happens. And these people out there, they go, yo, dog, well, I've got to lean down. Calories in, calories out. Greg Douchet, no. Put the fork down, no. Clenbuterol, no. And then they do these, get some results, go, see, durianrider, I cut my calories, I lost weight. And then a week later, I'm gaining weight again. Or a month later, I'm fat again. Or a year later, I'm having a mental breakdown, I'm getting obese. Duh. It's called adaptive thermogenesis, post-starvation obesity. These people running on nothing, trying to lose weight. The body's an organism. I've got a rescue bird I've got a parakeet or a rainbow lorikeet in my tent there, and it was so weak when I caught it, couldn't even fly away. And now it's a baby, could hardly even run. And now I've got it in the tent, feeding up sugar and fruit and all the birdie good things, and it's just getting more aggressive and getting more vocal. And I go in the tent, and it charges at me. It's getting feisty, and that's good, And then eventually we'll be able to let it go. But wouldn't happen on a celery and freaking peach diet, They said those foods are good, but we live in 2020. We got work to do. We don't sit around in the sunshine stargazing and comparing navels, all right? We get there doing stuff, so you need more carbs than you'd get in nature. In nature, you don't have a bed, you don't have sheets, you don't have protection from the sun or whatever. You got to sort of make do. And it's the same in society, like people are trying to live, I'm just going to eat natural and using mobile phones. And they go driving their Jeeps to Starbucks to get a coffee, and then the Whole Foods to get a bag of organic pears. I don't do sugar. Sugar's bad. I just use the car to get around. It's like, oh my God, facepalm. Burn your fat, not the oil. Carb the fuck up, people.
Can I ask you, were you doing a vegan diet, like, meticulous?
The strictest you've ever known.
Were you doing
There you go, strictest. Generally, the strictest means the most orthorexic.
intelligently? Like,
I
were you
did all my
supplementing the
supplements.
right?
See, Joe Rogan, I like the frame Joe Rogan's trying to put in there. You don't know intelligently. Intelligently means you've got to take supplements because the vegan diet is deficient. Look how many supplements Joe Rogan sells. Look how many supplements Joe Rogan sells, man. God, so Joe Rogan, if your meat diet is so good, why do you have to take so many supplements? And why do you sell so many supplements to your audience who's largely redneck meat Texans? Why? If supplements are only for vegans, how come Joe Rogan and the UFC take so much steroids and supplements? Good question. I'd love to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. He'd never have me on because it'd be a truth bomb session. It'd be fun. It would be fantastic.
I do all my protein drinks. I've watched
protein. Refined sugar's bad. Don't have refined sugar because it's refined. Protein, though, refined protein's okay. Yeah, that's okay. And oils, refined fat's okay. Oils are good. Refined sugars, I watched Dr. Greger, and it said refined sugar's bad. And I watched Nick the Anemic Vegan, and refined sugar's bad. So I'm just going to do this.
like, why are my thighs, like, huge?
Those
Like,
vegan bodybuilder guys, they're almost all on steroids.
it's I'm not
fake.
These fake natty vegan YouTubers out there. That's why I have the flip side. One, that's good that they're out there. Two, it's bad because then people go, I want to eat like them. Oh, just chickpeas and a acai bowl and a little bit of a coconut water. Yeah, no sugar. Okay, Shimnet. Okay, Johnny Venus. Okay, Brian Turner. Okay, all these people. No refined sugars, just whole foods vegan. I'll do that. I'm going to the gym, but I'm not making any gains. Like, what do you think that is? I'll buy my coaching program. We'll get you swole, bro. We'll get you swole. Oh, I'm still getting swole after 6 months of coaching. I'm not making any gains. Actually, I'm losing muscle. Oh, yeah. And then they go, I can't build muscle on a vegan diet. I'm eating chickpeas. I'm eating sprouts. Trying to build muscle eating sprouts. Listen to some fake natty advice. This is why I have not a distaste, but a frustration out there of the noobs who go, durianrider's advice is bad, says sugar's good, I can't listen to Durianrider. I'm going to listen to a fake natty steroid head who lies to my face about steroids. I've got nothing wrong with people using steroids. I've used steroids. Joe Rogan uses steroids. Vegan Gains uses steroids. All the crew out there have used steroids or are still using steroids. It's part of the scene, alright? And but yeah, there's noobs out there trying to get these results and not. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. It's a scam. It's a fraud. So Miley Cyrus is a victim of that. As much money and fame as she got. Can you imagine all the vegans out there, the vegan YouTubers, or the verified ticks like me, or whoever, the blue ticks, and say, Miley, give me some attention. Okay, Miley. You know, it's like, fuck, it's pathetic. It makes me want to vomit.
I do all my protein drinks. I've watched every bodybuilder's YouTube about how they still
You can't pay attention to those
train.
guys.
That's what I'm saying. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, I'm like,
Those
all I
guys
eat is
that-
celery.
There you go. All you eat is celery. You know.
And like, why are my thighs like huge?
Those
Like,
vegan bodybuilder guys, they're almost all on steroids.
it's
It's
I'm not on
fake.
So you've juiced.
I take testosterone replacement therapy, and I've done it for almost 10 years. What is it, 49? Yeah, 39. I started when I was like 39, 37, 38.
Yep.
I started rubbing this cream on me, which wasn't that effective.
my thighs like huge.
Those vegan bodybuilder guys, they're almost all on steroids.
That not almost. They all are on steroids, and Joe Rogan is on steroids. I've used steroids. All the UFC crew, actually 99% UFC, on steroids. All the Instagram crew, the lifters, the fake natty aesthetic guys who recycle their photos and wear hair systems, etc., all on anabolic steroids. All right. So Joe Rogan, it's not just the vegans; it's all of them fake natty crew.
It's
I'm not on
fake.
steroids.
So you've juiced.
I take testosterone replacement therapy, and I've done it for almost 10 years.
Kudos to Joe for being transparent. Kudos to Joe for being transparent. Give credit where credit's due.
Wait a minute, 49? Yeah, 39. I started when I was like 39, 37, 38.
Yeah.
I started rubbing this cream on me, which wasn't that effective.
Imagine.
So there you go. That is the deal there. So Joe Rogan, not living the full context there. You know, Joe Rogan uses steroids. The vegan bodybuilders use steroids. I've used steroids. You know, all your favorite athletes out there have used steroids. And you know, people say, "Oh, but you know, like this." I'm just giving you the truth, man. I'm giving you the truth. All right. And if you can't handle the truth, then go watch Mick the Anemic Vegan or Dr. Gregor, the multi-millionaire with the non-profit charity who says sugar's bad, white rice is worse than chicken, blah, 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 blah. Weigh yourself 3 times a day. If you want that lifestyle, if you want to get scammed and misled and have that terrible holiday in Thailand because you didn't listen to me, because you read something on the internet by some obsessed stalker wrote, or whatever, or some orthorexic teacher out there, then sugar's really bad for you. Like, every cell in the body runs on sugar. Right, the fruit's full of sugar if it's grown properly, but the fruit today, it tastes like Vaseline and DDT. Right? Even if it's organic, most of the time it's like, what is this crap? How is this passed off as fruit? It was picked so green, it was grown on poor quality soil, it was, you know, picked way too early, too green, so the sugar hasn't fully set, and then you let it ripen up and you bite into it and you're like, I'm eating healthy, yay! And then you put it on Instagram as a photo and you like chuck it in the compost, hopefully the compost, not the bin, feed the worms, not the landfill. And then you're like, give me some chocolate, give me some, you know, donuts. Just go to Dunkin' Donuts with Vegan Gains, you know. So I don't blame people, man, because if you don't have refined sugar in your diet, you're going to be craving so much sweetness, and you're going to be fighting that. Look at that channel called Pickup Lines. She's like, just got a raging eating disorder, and she's like starving herself. You look in her face, she's just running on the caffeine, and you know, it's just, why are you suffering out there? Why are you suffering with this sugar phobia? Look what happened to Miley Cyrus, you know? Like, she's a caring person. She wants to believe in veganism. You know, she reminds me when I was 12. I was like, I love animals, I want to kill them, except for mosquitoes. But, you know, and I was just like, but I got to eat meat. Mum's like, gotta eat meat. Everyone's like, gotta eat meat. I was like, I'm having my protein. I won't eat too much meat though, because it's, you know, I don't want to support the cruelty. And then when I found out about vegan life in 2001, I was like, holy mama! You know, I didn't have did I have sugar restriction back then? No, I was still eating sugars. You know, I went for a little part of abandoning refined sugar, and you know, but I was having dried fruit, which is refined sugar, so I didn't get full on, you know, too low. But I remember having periods where I was just eating raw food. And on days where I couldn't get really good quality fruit, my performance was shit, man. It was crap. You know, and I could have said, oh, it's vegan's fault. No, I had an orthorexia going on there where I was just trying to be Mr. Purity, and I was fearing refined sugar, sucrose, but I was eating sucrose and fruit. And so on the days I wasn't getting enough sucrose in the fruit, you know, my performance dropped down. All I could have done is just added some fructose, some sucrose in there, some table sugar to my fruit, and it would have been good to go. But I didn't do that because I was Mr. Purity. And then someone said, a guy called Fred Patnard, he's like, you know, what are you doing, bro? Like, sucrose is sucrose. And I'm like, oh, but I'm trying to be raw. And he's like, dude, like, you want to be an athlete? You're a cyclist? How's that good for your vegan message if you're getting dropped because you won't have sugar from cane, but you won't have sugar from cane because it's been cooked, but you'll have sugar from cane and cane juice. It's like sucrose is sucrose, you idiot. You know, and I was like, yeah. And I knew he was, I've been honest and truthful, and I appreciated that. But it took me a while to really grasp that, you know, that my identity was based on orthorexia and stuff like that. But anyway, that's just the truth. I'm 43, and I've got no stims in my system, any Adderall or Ritalin right now. People, oh, this guy's crazy, he's off his chops. This is just carbohydrates and resting, you know, like a puppy dog, just bouncing with energy, you know, when it matters. Most of the time, I'm just like a mute. Calm down and get stuff done. That's the deal, man. Carb phobia is killing the vegan movement. Even I was on James Aspey's page the other day. So I was like, you think I was a steroid? Of course I'm on steroids. And then I was looking at his thing and people, oh, he's whole foods vegan, this is great, no refined sugars. And I was like, oh my God. If you think James Aspey doesn't do refined sugars, you're tripping. We all do refined sugars, you know. You have to. And we're going to have your power from. Joe Rogan does them. I do them. Yeah, but to have refined sugars and then go, oh, I'm having refined sugar, this is bad. It's like, man, like you just, like when you go to hospital, let's say you get in the bush and you get rescued and they put a glucose drip in your arm because you can't even stand up and, you know, put your own shoes on, you're so weak. So glucose exhausted because you're so deep into ketosis. They give you a glucose drip to bring you back to life. Oh, sorry, doc, it's refined sugar, I won't do that. It's like, oh my God, you know? Oh my God. It's like, sugar is directly proportional. Your sugar intake is directly proportional to how much stress you can handle. Remember when they go get an injection in school or whatever, and they say, make sure you have a little bit of sugar before your injection, before your vaccines or whatever, you know, before your bloods, we get you to do your bloods, because the sugar helps you overcome the stress of getting a jab. Right? So you have your sugar and your body can toughen up, you deal with it. So if you're going around there having no refined sugars, no white rice, no fruit, no smoothies, then you're going to struggle, my friends. You're going to struggle with stress. You're going to feel something's wrong with you, and there will be something wrong with you. You're in glucose exhaustion, and then you'll be at the whim of these silver-tongued scammers, fake natties, supplement pushers, even plant-based news. Klaus, that's another channel I helped get going back in the day. You know, Klaus, chasing that clout, did a thing about Miley Cyrus, and then straight away they're selling their algae product, and I'm just like, there's no mention of her being scared of sugar, there's no mention of her following these orthorexic vegan YouTubers, there's no mention of her, you know, having a brain injury or drugs or blah 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 blah. No mention of that. It's like, well, Miley should just have our vegan D3, E3, algae, omega-3, DHE, EPA supplement. You know, it's just like, far out. This vegan movement's just become on this big shill fest. It's crap, man. It's clout chasing. It's verified tick stroking each other's ego crap. It's sugar phobia. Sugar's the bad. Sugar's the pariah. And then, you know what I mean? And then you go. But look at my girlfriends over the years. When they would live with me, look how glowy and dewy they look and how hot they look relative to beforehand or compared to other people who say sugar's bad. All right, look at them. Look at the progression there. You know, the same age group, whether they're 40 or they're 20 or 19 or 18 or whatever. So that's just the reality there. That's the truth. You can do whatever you want with it. But yeah, if you want the best life ever, cut the stims out or cut them right back and up those sugars, those refined sugars. Get them in. Just do it for a week. Cut your oils out and go hardcore, unlimited white rice, fruits, and sugar. Start the day with a fruit smoothie with as much sugar as you want. You're like, oh, I can't finish this. Put it in a bottle, take it to work, and just sip on it, you know? And then come home, have more fruit or whatever you care for. And then dinner, you know, have that white rice with soy sauce, bit of veggies, whatever. As much as you want. As much as you want. Not too much veggies. Not too much veggies, because you'll fill up on veggie, you won't get enough carbs in. Well, that's good, durianrider. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to cut my carbs. I'm trying to cut my calories. Yeah. Stop that bullshit. Stop it. Do you want to have fucking energy? Or do you want to be another anemic space cadet vegan? Hey guys, welcome to my video. Like, share, subscribe. Today we're going to cook chickpeas and oats. Yay! Fuck. You know what I mean? Take away the DSLR and script. These people are boring as fuck. Alright? Boring as fuck. Do you want to be like them? Oh no, I don't want to live a scripted life. I want to live that spontaneous life, that vasectomy lifestyle. So do that for a week. Unlimited durianrider sugars. And just see what happens to your mental health. You're going to feel so much better. And throw a fucking away the scales. Get rid of the fucking scales, please. Alright, scales are for anorexic teen girls. You're a man or a woman. Fuck off the scales, please. Alright? Your body weight will take care of itself over time. Stop trying to control it. Alright? Control your fat intake. Control your thoughts. Let your weight take care of itself. Hey, who's getting better results out there than me? Who? Exactly. Alright? Who's got hotter wives consistently?